frontier is defined as uncharted territory by land or ocean. Those who chart that territory tell a story. The past illustrates the blueprint for the present, how things are and how they've evolved. From land to water, we are challenged to border that new frontier, a frontier the outdoorsman knows like no other. Author Gary Lewis works his way along that edge of where discoveries, failures, and achievements have written the story of the sportsman.
Yes! Yes!
From state to state, continent to continent, the stories told create the foundation of the present, and they lay the framework for the future. Through the muzzle fire and on the stone are stories from the edge.
Water is the most important thing as far as Indians are concerned, 'cause that's life.
The past is written, the present is here, and this is Frontier Unlimited. This trip was a scouting mission to check out a new hunting lodge carved out of the mesquite forest south of San Antonio, south of the Alamo. Jeff Griffith is building a bow hunting only operation for hunters who chase deer
Have arrived at your destination.
This is it. We found it.
and hogs with archery tackle.
We are at the gate. Motorcycle rider.
This has always been a dream of mine, and from Maurice Chambers has kind of helped me get started in it. Run across the 300 acres and try to start a bow hunting operation. Whitetails, exotics, hogs, boars, various horned goats, oddads. We'll push it for him to be here. Didn't find a book, but I've got talked to Maurice.
Hunter Arts, a native of Texas and a hunting consultant and hunting property manager, is an ardent student of all things wild boar.
You know, the only way to really control them is harvesting. In my opinion, that's what I think. I don't like the poisoning thing at all. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like it.
I've got a trail camera here. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to leave it for probably a couple days. Sweet little camera. I'm just learning how to use it right now. So, climb in here?
Yep.
And then you'll come back and pick us up at dark? Or? Yep. Okay. Sounds good. This is all right. This is all right. I don't get to hunt and stand very often like this. Okay, there's something coming out. Right there, right there. We're here in La Pryor, Texas. This is wild boar country here in this part of South Texas. There's a lot of pigs here. Texans tell me there's a lot of pigs right here. And not only pigs, but rattlesnakes. Next 2 days, we're gonna sit here in this blind and probably another blind. And we're gonna just watch pigs, learn about pigs, and shoot a pig to take home.
Lewis really wanted a silver boar or a white boar on this hunt. These are the hardest to find, and they only seem to come out close to dark. Lewis was hunting with South Texas bucks and bows in La Pryor, Texas, with owner Jeff Griffiths and hog hunting expert Hunter Arts. Lewis is using a Montana rifle, chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor, and topped with a Burris scope. The bullet is a 129-grain Nosler AccuBond, long range.
These are Mexican tree ducks, and I haven't seen any since I was hunting down by Mazatlan a long time ago. And so the first thing we did when we drove in is we saw these ducks last night sitting up on top of that feeder. And I thought, those look like tree ducks. And that's what they are. But right now, they're our confidence decoy. And when we drove in, the ducks flew away. When we came back into the blind, the ducks circled around and they landed on top of that feeder. They're going to sit there for a while, and then one of them's going to go down and start to feed while the other one watches. And the pigs, the really wary ones, they pay attention to the other wildlife. So these ducks are our confidence decoy. We're here kind of as an exploratory mission. This is a new outfit. Just heard about him from a friend of mine, Jim Foster. And he plugged us in. We flew down here, and we're gonna see just how many hogs are on this place. I saw last night that came out but did not go to the feeder. And he did the same thing just now that he did last night. Then he went over to the water. So let's see what happens next. This would be a good pig to shoot. He's a young boar. He's all by himself. He'd be good meat, he'd be good eating. So we might get him a little later in the trip. Or we're gonna let him fatten up right now. This is the shot I'm hoping for right here. Broadside with a big boar.
On our stands and our feeders, we'll leave them where they're at right now. We will be moving them around after they get hunted quite a bit, and once the animal knows what's going on at that location, then we'll change it up and maybe even start feeding just the roads, putting up tripods, pop-up blinds, brush blinds, stuff like that.
A hen turkey just walked out of the opening and then back down that little road there. That's the first activity we've had in about an hour.
Lewis was hunting with South Texas bucks and bows in La Pryor, Texas, with owner Jeff Griffiths and hog hunting expert Hunter Arts.
It's a Sunday morning. I'm supposed to be in church, and here I am hunting. So we're not going back to the lodge with a pig. We're going back for breakfast, and then we'll come back out here. Probably won't get one till after the sun goes down. One pig came in. Just one.
Just one.
And I heard a pig grunt out there.
Yeah.
But I didn't. That one didn't come in.
Didn't come in.
Yeah.
Dang.
Lewis checked the trail camera every morning and was astonished how many times the white pigs showed up after dark, but never came out during daylight hours.
We're gonna go put out some sour corn to help draw some hogs in.
Man, this stuff stinks.
Yeah, it does.
They're smelling it right now. They got their attention.
You put corn in a 55-gallon drum and put water in it to sour it, get the smell to attract the hogs in. They love to eat it. It stinks real bad. Where the regular corn you don't smell as much as that sour corn, it stinks.
This is not what you want to have for lunch.
Hunter Arts has studied wild boars for his whole life and admires the animal, both for its sporting quality and its table fare.
A guy comes down and wants to do a hunt. What would you advise that guy to do after he's bought his license and got his bow and arrow shooting the way he wants it?
Well, the first thing is he needs to get with the guide and go look at where he's going to be hunting so the guide can give him some pointers at where the hogs are moving or where all the water sources are.
Yeah.
Because they're going to stay, the hotter it is, the more they're going to stay around water because they don't have sweat glands and they got to stay cool.
Right. So then you got hog goes into the water. What kind of things is that hog going to do once he gets in there and rolls and coats himself with mud?
Yeah, he's going to come out and find a tree or a post, telephone pole, or whatever he can find to rub on. And then that'll leave you a good mark as how tall that hog is, how big that hog is. If you look at the bud line on that pole or that tree, you can kind of tell what size hog you're looking at that's hitting that water source.
Yeah. And I think a person needs to ask themselves, what are they looking for? Do they want to try to take a meat pig, or well, I think they got to answer that question for themselves when before they arrive. This is a pretty good setup. We've got nice clear shot right through here, and this looks like about 90 yards, and then we can see for a good distance this direction and little ways this way, so we can see like 50 yards this way and about 50 yards that way, and the wind is right in our face. We got that stinky corn blowing on the breeze, so should be good, all that water. Okay.
By the end of day 2, it was time where Lewis felt he had to shoot something, or risk going home empty-handed. He passed up chances on a dozen pigs, young boars, and dry sows.
Those are MR ducks. Confidence ducks. This is so much different than a lot of the other things I do. A lot of times I scout where the animals are going to be, and then I go there. And then I sit and wait. In this case, somebody else has scouted it. They've prepared everything. They've set up the shooting lanes, and they know what these hogs are going to do, pretty much. So they've taken all the work out of it for me, that's for sure. And we're not hunting all day, we're hunting in the morning, and we're hunting in the evening. I took 2 naps today. That's pretty nice. comes a big one. He's big and black. There he is. Oh yeah. Very, very thirsty. I think there's another one back there right at the fence corner. Just standing there. That's a nice big female. She's been in the water. She got all cooled down. She's having a good day right now. Okay, we got a shooter here maybe. With that many females there's a good chance we'll have a boar come in soon. There's got to be a boar hanging around. If I was going to take one of these, and I would take the one on the left because it doesn't have any babies. And so you could tell that's the first one we saw. It came in without piglets, and it's by itself. She must have smelled us. There's a little boar right here, and I might be able to get a shot at him. The wind is kind of swirling around in this area. That's what I'm afraid of. He's gone over to the side.
Throughout the hunt, a white fallow buck drifted in and out of the forest like a haunting. It would show up just before dark and then vanish again. Lewis took it as good medicine. Someone would get a chance at a ghost boar. A passel of piglets and 3 adults appeared out of the mesquite. One was an eligible candidate. Lewis waited until the black one was broadside, with no other animals around it. 20 yards, no more.
Okay, just shot one, and it ran about 10 yards and ran around in a circle and went down right there. So real close to us. In this thick brush like this, you gotta be ready for a second shot. And this pig started to get up, so I shot it again. Because you want it down. You don't want to have to go tracking through this thick stuff with all these rattlesnakes. Okay, that's a nice meat pig. That's exactly what we came for. Exactly what we want right there.
Throughout the hunt, Lewis had chances at many boars. That evening, he took one. Lewis would give Pike a chance at the ghost boar. Returning to the same blind, Lewis had harvested his boar the night prior. They waited patiently as the last day of the hunt in South Texas came to a close. With thoughts and images of silver-backed boars and an approaching twilight, the question was to leave the blind or to stay in place. With less than an hour left in the hunt, with the sun going down, Lewis and Sam left the blind and looked down the narrow corridor overhung with mesquite and oaks. In the gathering dusk, a ghostly figure caught Lewis's eye. Pike's first shot was 61 paces. Although the angle had been good, the bullet placement was just a little off. It was a good reminder a person should always be ready to take a second shot if necessary. In the open, they admired what may be one of the most beautiful wild boars Lewis has seen.
We got the one we came for, and then we were looking for the other one we came for, and this was it. This was it, though. This is the ghost pig, and we've been searching for this one ever since we got here.
Preston Cody, a cowboy, pastor, singer, and songwriter, sat on a stool and played while we turned a big wild boar into the raw materials for tacos, carnitas, barbecues, and pork loin feasts.
Where there's still pay for a cowboy and a room down at the Sunset Inn, where I don't have to start all over, I can just start again. I know